this is actually reading the right audio. I don't know. I didn't check that one. Nope, it's not. I don't know why it doesn't automatically flop over to the right fucking audio.
Nah.
OBS can
We have
never do
technical
its job
difficulties.
correctly. Fucking hell,
We have
man.
technical difficulties with everything, so I know how it is.
It's just, it's absolutely bullshit. How's it going, everybody? It's been a fucking while. And, I wanted to have Aiden on because, it's getting to that spooky time of the year, and I
Oh,
fucking
hell
love
yeah.
hanging and talking with Aiden. He's
Very
one of the
spooky.
greatest people for this. And you got to have
Oh.
him and Wendy around at the same time. So, had Wendy a few
Oh, did
weeks
you have
ago.
Isaiah?
Yeah. I love
Gotcha.
episodes with him. It was
He's a
really
fun
funny.
guy.
He was excited for like the first hour.
Hmm.
You see him peak as we start talking about religion and like me moving forward with religion and trying to figure all
Hmm.
that shit out. And
Yeah.
then you just see his entire energy just drop. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't keep going anymore. I'm done.
What time
It's
was it? Was it
we
like
started
late?
like 5 minutes late, I think, or something like that.
Gotcha.
But it was fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
The dude is absurdly busy. Like I hope to be as busy as he is one day. Because
Me
the
too.
way I'm busy right now is is not the best.
I
Because
like making myself busy, but I
yeah,
love when I can force myself to be busy. If I can
yeah,
force myself to be busy, I'm achieving at a whole new level.
yeah. For me, it's I'm looking forward to the day when the amount of work I'm doing is reflected in the amount of money I'm making. Which, granted, since the last time I was here, things have really taken off. But still, it's 60, 70 hour weeks a lot of the time. You know
Well,
how it is.
problem going
We're all good.
on. What the fuck? Always stream
Problem with the
every night
stream?
this week. No, not with the stream life shit.
Oh,
But
okay. Oh, of course.
fucking hell, it's one of
There's
those
always
days, man.
life shit, isn't there?
Nah, always. That's why. Oh, that's the empty can. That's why I'm always running on G Fuel. That's where the camera. G Fuel. Use code RMTS to check out.
You have a G Fuel sponsorship?
Yes, I absolutely do.
We just went the route of selling our own coffee. Not quite the same, but gets the job done.
I don't like coffee actually, and that's not
Really?
a shot at you. I can't drink hot liquids.
Okay.
They absolutely make me shit all over the place, and
All
that's
right.
just never a beneficial thing unless you're absolutely
Right.
constipated. And I don't like the taste of coffee unless it's like syrup, and I can't get
All right.
I can't like make it consistent enough to the point where I find it enjoyable always.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Sorry, Archie has decided to make
No,
himself heard.
you're
Uh,
absolutely fine. I'm sure
yeah,
my dogs will bark at the fucking bear that's
probably.
running around for the
Yeah.
last fucking week.
I think I was raised with coffee being kind of the same idea as beer, that it's an acquired taste, and I remember that experience of being like, I'm not sure I'm enjoying acquiring the taste, but
No, and I
it's one of
try
those things that once you can appreciate it, you can really appreciate it.
like my mom drank coffee always. Like
Hmm.
she would go through 4 or 5 pots a day.
Jeez.
Now, did all of that get drank? No. But she would
Okay.
go through at least probably like a pot and a half drank
Mhm.
every single day. She would
Oh,
make
so she
at
was
least
she was like my girlfriend and never finished any of her beverages.
no, there was just sometimes where the pot of coffee would go to waste because there would be 2 people drinking out of it,
Right. I gotcha.
but not always drank fully gone, the normal bullshit.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
would make a full entire pot at least 3 times a day, and at least she would drink at least half of it. It was fucking
Jeez.
insane.
Yeah, I'll drink 3 or 4 cups in a day if I'm really chugging. But when I was a barista back in high school, and I had to be up at 5 a.m. every morning to get ready for school, I would go through probably 7 or 8 cups of coffee a day if we included espresso shots, because by the time I got to work from school, it was just I was dead.
Yeah, the only coffee that I'm like, yeah, I can enjoy those are
Hmm.
that demonic brand that I no longer can support.
I
The obvious one. The one that
okay.
everybody says is a demon brand. They use religion against it. Green and black can. This one.
Huh?
That
What?
that brand. The coffee brand of them, I like 2 or 3 of
Oh, I
those
didn't know
flavors.
they had a coffee brand.
Yeah, they're
Also,
rather good.
why are they the demon brand now? What?
Uh,
Did I
they
miss something?
they say that the scratch on the side of those cans is a
Uh-huh.
symbol of a six.
It's three. It's three claw marks, isn't
Six,
it?
six, six.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, I don't know enough to dispute it. I don't care enough to dispute it. It's
I got
just,
it
it
now.
is
Now
what
I
it is.
gotta monster logo. I gotta look at the monster logo now.
Yeah.
Those just aren't sixes.
I don't know.
Like,
I guess in some language
I
that
mean, to
means
me, they
six.
pretty
I
obviously
don't
look.
know.
It looks like a stylized M, like a stylized lowercase m.
Yeah, it makes logic sense to me, but as a whole, I've seen way too many videos of televangelists and shit calling that out as devil juice
Yeah,
and
but
everything else.
televangelists make their money calling stuff the devil and telling you
Oh,
that all of
absolutely.
your problems can be solved if you just subscribe to their YouTube channel or something. Like, televangelists are some of the worst people on the planet. They prey on people's fears and then use religion, the false ideas of religious salvation, as a way to get people to give them money. It's horrific.
Oh, absolutely
Like,
horrific.
Joel Osteen can talk about heaven as much as he wants. He's not seeing it. There's one group of people who are designated as definitely going to hell in the Bible, and it's blasphemers.
Yeah.
It's those who use the word it like for their own nefarious purposes or change it. Like they are the one group of people who it's like you will go to hell.
But surprisingly, after dealing with Gfuel and how amazing they
Mm-hmm.
treat me, I
Really?
was thoroughly surprised. They're like, here, new flavors coming out. Try all of it. I had
Oh wow,
all of the Halloween flavors. I had
that's
all of them
awesome.
here. Like they're
Where's my G Fuel Halloween pack? Like, come on, man. It's us. That would be right up our alley.
no, absolutely, man. I love them. Like these are
I
Jason,
don't think I've ever had it actually, to be honest.
And
I
they're
don't.
citrus fruit punch. So it's like,
Ooh.
and the Freddy Krueger one, which I couldn't show on camera, but it was
Yeah,
absolutely my favorite of the three because it wasn't even released yet to the public.
yeah. We wanted to get a partnership with Ghost, but they turned us down.
Yeah.
So that was sad.
Well, if you read the chat, I can't say that over
Gotcha.
public areas, but
I
yeah.
got you. Yeah. Yeah,
Whatchamacallit?
it's isn't sponsorship so fun? Isn't trying to figure out how to get in touch with the right
Yes.
people and get them to talk to you? Great.
That's why I'm trying to do that shit and just back
Mm-hmm.
channel shit of, oh, I have the
Yeah.
connection. Let me just help you out. It
Yeah.
helps so much more.
Yeah.
But the Freddy Krueger one literally tasted like tropical punch. You know, the like old school Kool-Aid
Ooh.
blue
Oh.
tropical punch. Like slightly less tangy and
Mm-hmm.
slightly more smooth with bubbles. And I'm like, yes, that.
That sounds good.
I was like, that is one of my favorite flavors of all time, my favorite juice of all time. I need this. I need this now. I'm sitting here
That nostalgia right there.
I'm sitting here drinking it on stream. I had 3 of them. And
Oh.
all 3 of them were gone in 2 days.
Ah. That's an unhealthy amount of caffeine.
No, I have ADHD, so literally
Okay.
it feels like nothing.
I keep trying to get my psychiatrist to give me an Adderall prescription because I actually do have serious focus issues.
Yeah.
And I forgot to email him back about talking about my focus issues.
Consume more than 100 milligrams of caffeine and see if your focus changes.
I can certainly try. See, this is like
No.
I have to now remind myself, like, make sure to check your email and see if Dr. Duckett got back to you.
I know it sounds absolutely psychology bullshit, hypothetical
Yeah.
mumbo jumbo. That is a way that you can self medicate for ADHD
Caffeine?
and use it as a way to
I believe
say,
it.
hey, I can prove it with this. I was consuming 500 milligrams of caffeine to feel normal
Good lord.
to the level I do now when I'm medicated. Like it's absolutely insane. They're like, Zach, how much caffeine have you had today? When I would go in for my heart doctor for my neck surgery and
Yeah.
stuff like that. 700 milligrams. They're like, why is your heart rate below normal? Don't know. Just is.
See, that's the thing is if I get up there, I start to have like my heart rate is a little too much. I have a very high resting heart rate to
you
start
find your
with.
place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just do. At some point
Yeah,
you'll figure it out.
It's gotten a lot better since I've lost some weight and gotten back in shape. It's back down into like the 70s. But there was a little while where like when I was walking, my heart rate would hit 120, 130, no problem. Just walking.
Yeah, they were reading like
Which
my pulse and heart rate and shit, and they're like 140 over 80. You know,
mhm.
if we knew you didn't consume this much caffeine, we would start having a problem. Well, I'm in severe pain and I consume 600 milligrams of caffeine. They're like, then you are low, very
That's
low.
weird. That is so weird.
Well, why? Why is that so weird?
Just
Just
that
because
like
of the
you
numbers and the
just that you
availability?
have like a low-ish heart rate while still on 600 to 700 milligrams of caffeine. Meanwhile, if I had 3 cups of coffee too early
180
in the morning,
milligrams. Yeah.
I was gonna be very shaky.
I've also figured out that not caffeine, coffee does that. But if
Yeah,
it's
coffee
like
makes you shake.
pre-workouts and stuff that don't have the
Hmm.
beta alanine in them, like the G Fuel and stuff,
Hmm.
there's zero sugar in there too. So I don't get the
Ooh.
the jolt of like needing sugar,
This is
which
turning into a very long G Fuel ad.
it turned into a genuine conversation about ADHD. You know, it is
Yeah.
what it is. You
I just
fall
think
back
it's funny.
into home at some point, right?
Oh yeah, it's that. Well, that was kind of the thing. Is there were a couple days where I was able to sample a friend's extended release Adderall, and that was different. That was better. I suddenly was like, oh, this is how normal people function. I'm not constantly thinking about other things, like the number of
The number of thoughts that you have in your head go from like
ex-
500 that you can't
mm,
hear to five that I can hyper focus on. And all of a sudden,
exactly.
everything becomes clear. It's hilarious because I'll be sitting here having a normal conversation with people and I'll lose my train of thought.
Hmm.
I take my medication. I wake up on a normal scheduled basis. I do my normal daily things, not even consume a higher level of caffeine, just normal
Yep.
daily shit. And I can speak eloquently. I can speak in full
Hmm.
paragraphs. Everything's just fucking fantastic.
Yep. It went from I got the
No
same
problem,
amount
buddy.
of work done in an hour that I think I got done in probably an entire day
Yeah.
while I was on it. And I was like, this is
Today,
insane.
today I edited 4 videos. Yesterday I edited 6 videos. I need to just make shorts, do the podcast, and that's it for the rest of today.
Hmm. Got yeah.
And then start working on the 6 month long project that I've off put because I need to finally start working on that and,
Yeah.
hold myself accountable to making this crazy ass fucking series that I said I was going to
Yep.
do in January.
Isn't it
Oh,
isn't it
9 months,
just the worst
not
when
six
you
months.
get to the point where you're ready to start working on it and then it's just a
The
task?
problem with my ADHD was I got really excited when I got the idea. I
Hmm.
got really excited when I got the footage.
Yep.
I got really excited when I wrote the script, sent it to the people that I needed to voice act it and everything else. They're
Hmm.
like, yes, let's do this. Even people like Woods, he's like, yes, this is a good idea. Let's do this.
Hmm.
And then I completely fall out of love with the idea and I just don't put the
Yep.
attention on it because it's not something I can touch right now.
Yeah, that was the struggle of this Donner Party video we just shot, which was about 8 hours of footage.
Yeah.
And that's from probably 10 hours of sitting in front of the camera, um, just between stopping and starting and
Just restarting
adjusting
and trying to
things.
rewrite
Yeah, like
things and re.
yeah, so it's gonna probably whittle down to 3 or 4 hours of content
Yeah.
by the time everything's edited. But by the when I finally finished researching, first of all, we had already started shooting. So it
And
was
that's
like
never a good thing.
yeah, because it was let's see, it was 200, what's 270 minus 1, it was 76 pages of handwritten notes
Yeah, no.
that we
I
had to shoot, and it took 8 hours across 3 days. It's going to work out to 3 or 4 hours of footage, and I just by the time it got to that filming session, I was just done. And I wanted so badly to be like, let's just skip this week. I need a break. Let's just skip the week, get back to it next week and we'll be fine. And thankfully I powered through it because we have not had a good month in terms of views, and we did not have a good month last month in terms of views. So we're
No, there's been a really weird consistency lately across the entire platform, it seems.
okay. So it's not just us.
No. No,
All
I saw a
right. That.
huge spike randomly in the end of September.
Hmm.
No, not the end of September, the end of August. And
Hmm.
it's been like just a roller coaster since.
Yeah. We basically we were in the same boat. We had a really big spike in June,
I had an
but I
algorithm
think
spike of like 400%
yeah.
availability. And then all of a sudden, nothing. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, that's what happened to us.
I
And
went from
for some
doing the same
reason,
thing. Like, same thing. I don't understand why it's changing here, but it
we
is.
we had one video that took off weirdly quickly.
Yeah.
Hit 300,000 views in the space that our videos usually hit 100,000, and that seems to have caused a wave. We got 30,000 new subscribers and 2 million views in a month, and it was awesome. Made a lot of money too. And then the next 3 months have just been, for 2 months it was kind of normal, like back to normal, and this past month it's been low, and I just have no idea why, because we haven't done anything different.
It has to. It
Our
has to just be back to school.
I'm thinking it's got to be just external factors, which is frustrating, but it's nice that we got to make
Between
it.
college and
Yeah.
high school and everything else
Well,
starting, it's kind
but
of
that's the
logical.
thing is our demographic is not school aged. We're I think
Mine's not either.
70% is over the age of 24 for us. Is over the age is 25 and up. So we're kind
So
of
if
confused.
you add 18 to 35, those two demographics together, that's
Hmm.
85% of my audience.
Yeah. Same.
But it happens.
Yeah.
That's
It's
college
very
age, so I would assume college.
yeah. I'm just
Normal
frustrated
life
about it.
shit. We have Isaiah's wedding in like 4 days 3 days when that happens. My sister had a wedding today. Like it's just there's shit tons of shit going on
Yeah.
at this point. It's like end of
Yeah.
summer.
So
Let's do things. Let's be adults.
yeah.
I don't know why
I'm
they would want
I'm
to do
just hoping
that, but
I'm hoping the spooky season is good to us.
well,
Because
who
it's
knows?
certainly spooky.
Maybe I'll be able to help out a little bit with that.
Maybe.
Whatchamacallit. So I did have some topics. I didn't come in here
Sure.
completely
Yeah.
blind. So I'll give you the availability to choose. I don't know if
Sure.
the chat actually fully shows up for you because I typed these before you got here. But
Um.
so,
No, I
do
do not
you
have anything in
want
here.
a gaming topic, Canada getting attacked by China, or the UFO hearing?
Canada and China? What?
So obviously, I wrote
I
these
have
down.
I have not been paying a ton of attention to current events the last month or so, so
I
this is
know, but
totally new to me.
I know that you're completely into them, like I am, which is why I was
I
able to
know.
finally get some fucking, politics talk. Let's go.
Yeah,
Um,
let's hit me. What's going on?
so obviously, everybody does not want to deal with fucking China. Everybody's
Well,
been
yeah.
afraid of China for like the past fucking 15, 20 years now.
Hmm.
It's been kind of the big boogeyman that everybody doesn't want to deal with.
Hmm.
But it seems like Canada, at least as of last week, was in the talks of dealing with them because they sent, I believe, their FBI kind of alphabet agency from China.
The RCMP.
Uh,
Oh, China's version.
yeah,
Gotcha. I thought you were saying
into
Canada
I
sent theirs.
believe Vancouver, Canada. I don't have the article in front
Uh-huh.
of me. I'm just kind of going off of
Oh, I
memory.
might
And
know what you're talking about.
they struck one specific person that I guess was Chinese out speaking against the Chinese government. They
Mhm.
killed him. Broad
Oh,
daylight in public, gone. Essentially, what happened to that
and it was the
Jamal
Chinese
Khashoggi
government
guy?
that did it.
Chinese
Yeah.
government already confirmed they've already connected
On
the dots on Canada soil.
wow. And what's Canada been saying?
From last week, I obviously don't know what they said today. I
Hmm.
didn't get a chance to look, but they were saying that they were contemplating responding.
Oh my God, that's so Canadian. Oh well, I know it's a complete override of our sovereignty, but I don't know. I think we might contemplate doing something about it. Like what?
Well, as a
They
whole,
they that's the
anybody
Chinese
moves,
government murdering somebody on your territory.
regardless of if it's a Chinese national or not. I don't care. You don't kill
I
somebody
don't.
here.
Yeah, that's like. Can you imagine if the United States just went over to like Britain and murdered somebody?
It makes me
for
wonder
speaking
how
out
many
against
of
the U.S.
those things
government.
actually happen and we just don't really know
And
about it.
we don't get, yeah. Well, I'm sure it happens all the time.
Like we've seen
Russians get
two
away
of
with it a
them, what,
lot.
in like 5 years now, with Jamal Khashoggi a couple years ago, and then this one.
Well,
At
wasn't
least
Khashoggi on? I thought he wasn't on U.S. soil when it happened.
no, he
Or are you
wasn't on
talking?
U.S.
Yeah,
soil, but he was
he was
a
in
different
Turkey. He was
citizen
in Turkey. You're
killed
right.
in a
Okay, I see
different
what you're
country.
saying.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
just like a hit
I'm.
put out on somebody by a specific country, and
Yeah.
we're seeing that play out. Like it's just weird. We're seeing this more and more now, and it seems like it's being affected. And
I mean, I think it's probably China pushing the boundaries. They're seeing what they can get away with. You know, how scared is the world really of them? Because
well,
I can see no other reason why you would do something that brazen.
well, logically, they want Taiwan. We all
Yeah.
know they want Taiwan. They want to take as many of those islands from Japan and
Hmm.
fucking Indonesia as they possibly can.
Oh yeah.
We need to separate them from Russia. We need to accept Russia again, is what it is.
That's just not going to happen.
Not with what we're currently doing. I understand. I'm not saying Russia isn't the bad guy currently, but I would rather accept Russia than deal with China.
Oh, I would
And
absolutely
Russia.
rather be with. I'd rather have Russia on our side to face China than have China and Russia on each other's side. That would absolutely be
Because
preferable. But with the current circumstance, people aren't that. Think about the average person in this country and what they actually know about global geopolitics. And do you think they have any idea what the right move is here?
no, absolutely. They said that it was crazy to go into Ukraine. You want to know why he went into Ukraine? Legacy. He has a date where he's going to die. If
Yep.
he starts creating a coalition to recreate the USSR, that is exactly what he wants. Ukraine currently has a fucking actor as a leader. Anybody find a weird connection to that where, puppet government, it's kind of coincidental?
Yeah, I don't want to get into too many.
I know.
I don't want to say too much about the conflict as it currently is, but I mean we've been watching this for what, a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Ukraine can't win.
No. Neither one of them are going to win.
Ukraine knows that
it's
Ukraine
frozen.
can't win. Russia knows that it can't beat Ukraine with Western backing. I think Putin's doing exactly what I said he was. When I was on PKA a year ago, I said this was going to happen.
Oddly
I said
enough,
we would be here.
Isn't this weird? Russia got to the point where it gained all of the territory it wanted from Ukraine, at least vocally. They didn't want to take over the entire place. They wanted specific places, which is why they attacked
those two border regions.
Isn't it weird that they just essentially World War II'd our ass? They did what the Germans couldn't do in World War I and World War II and take on the entire fucking world by themselves.
Well, but that's the thing.
Not
I don't think it's
manpower-wise,
comparable.
but like skill-wise, tech-wise, they have all of our tech.
Well, but that's the thing, is it's our tech
Them
in
using
the
it,
hands of Ukrainians
being taught by
who
us.
are not. But now they're being taught by us. But if you look, these are not Western trained people. For the
No,
most
it's
part.
just
They're
it's a
getting
much
it now. I think you could
different
when you look
war
at
than a lot of people perceive
Yeah.
it as. Is what my point was.
I
It's
think
more
if you look
close
at
to there actually being validity in what they're trying to do than as a whole just writing it off, because I don't think writing it off is logical at this point.
No, I don't. You can't write it off. But when I look at what's going on over there, I think that first of all, it's weird how some people have lionized Russia in this, as if just because Ukraine's not the best country for us to be aligning ourselves with, Russia's somehow the good guy. So I think I've seen a lot of that, which is frustrating. I think it's detrimental because when you have a whole bunch of people out there who are like, oh no, Russia are the good guys, they're doing the right thing, the Ukrainians are Nazis, like blah, 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 blah. Those people are not helping.
Why don't they logically look at it and see, okay, president changed, attack happened. Anybody realize that?
That's the other thing, is the number of times that we had to hear Donald Trump is a Russian puppet. The Russians are getting everything they want. He's a Russian asset, blah, 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 blah. And the Russians don't do any of this with their guy in office. And then the Biden gets in and they barely wait.
I think it was my mom I had this conversation with. I remember the picture of, it was a GIF of Putin shaking Trump's hand, him like thoroughly fucking respecting him, kowtowing to him almost. And then you have him shaking Biden's hand and he's like, this guy, these are the same.
Yep.
Is this what you're telling me?
And this is a guy who firmly shook the hand of George W. Bush.
Yeah.
This is a guy who respected George Bush and does not respect Biden, because there's nothing to respect about Biden. He's a career politician. He's basically been on the wrong side of every issue in history. He's probably groped his own daughter based on the diary that has
fucking.
I don't. Have they ever
shit.
said the diary wasn't authentic?
No, I think what's going to happen. You know how like we've gotten the Hunter Biden laptop stuff now, which will end up disqualifying him from running, which will be hilarious, and then it'll be Kamala, and you know, but it is what it is, man. There's a chance that there's. Never mind. Not saying that comment. There's a really, really interesting part that might happen right as he leaves office. That might be the thing that happens right as soon as he might get whisked away really fucking quickly.
I think it's going to be. I think that they have all of this stuff as contingencies for if he does not pan out. I think they are going to push him as long as he's somebody who will at least be able to sign the paper. Because let's be realistic, he was. They were even saying it during the election cycle. It was like, you know, come on, Joe Biden, all we need is your corporeal form. They weren't electing Biden to lead. They were electing Biden to be a puppet, and they were open about it.
Well,
Biden is a puppet. Biden has been a puppet, and it makes me laugh whenever they're like, Biden's doing things, because we all know he's not. So, you know, I think that this is all kind of...
I saw,
sure.
And it could just be complete bullshit, but because I remember it from high school and shit. I remember it being a thing where the next sitting president pardons the president from before. Hey, you're cleared of everything you did. Like killing people in other countries, creating wars, creating those things.
I'm not sure. Is that something that...
I don't know. I'm completely speaking from memory of learning it in school.
That kind of sounds like a rumor based off of what happened with Ford and Nixon.
It might be. It probably is. But
because I don't remember Obama doing that with Bush.
But if Obama did that to himself, which you're able to pardon yourself, Trump said he wouldn't for January 6th, so obviously it wasn't a planned thing. Does whoever's coming in or Biden pardon Biden, Hunter Biden?
I don't think they need to pardon Biden because Joe Biden is...
No, but he would be the fall guy because there's no days.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. He'd be the fall guy, but they would be like, oh, okay, but look, he's got dementia. We're just going to put him in a home.
Put him in the crazy nursing home where he gets a padded room and all of the ice pops and leg licks, all that he wants.
Yeah, it's... And the fact of the matter is, I think that the reason that all of this is out there and the reason that they've never really tried to disprove it, they've just used the mainstream media to get people to brush it off because they know the vast majority of people, if they're told to brush it off, will until it becomes too big for them to ignore, like the laptop that people still ignore. So I think what they're doing is they're saving this stuff for when Joe Biden doesn't play by the rules.
They've created a cycle where everybody questions everything. But the fact that everybody questions everything has made it so nothing is the truth. So whether it's your team or the other team, you presume innocence of your team and you want to attack the other. So 50-50 on whether or not you're hearing the truth or not. It's still calling it 50-50.
None of it's the truth.
Yeah. It's all bullshit.
I assume none of it's the truth, and I assume that there's some group of people behind the scenes right now pulling the strings, having Biden sign all the documents.
I don't think...
And I think that they are getting ready to kick him out if he does not agree to not run. Because let's look at this.
There are people like me, you, Isaiah, a lot of the people around us, whether they agree with us or not, we're all rather intelligent. Yeah. You include the PKA guys in there, Harley, all of the circle that's around here. No, regardless of what side you're on, all of us, if you put us in a
it's just that I was right about everything I said about the Ukraine conflict a year ago, and they all were dicks to me about it, and then I turned out to be completely correct. So
what I was saying was like, if you look at it and see that things line up in certain ways, I don't think that could be forced by somebody, because I think even if you put all of us in one box, our opinions and our thoughts on something and how things would accumulate or look or fall together, that is going to be one way. And it's going to completely fall in a different way depending on the person's eyes. So if you sit here and say, oh, there's a whole puppet government behind everybody, that doesn't make
Oh, I
sense
don't think
anymore.
that. I don't think so. So here's
I'm
what
not
I was
saying
really
you said
trying to.
that. I was just saying,
Yeah,
like, a lot of people say Biden's a puppet. Okay.
yeah,
How many people is he a puppet for? Just Kamala?
yeah.
Just the
No,
DNC? Or is there
I
a
don't think.
huge, crazy puppet government that controls everything?
So
There's
here's
too many people that are retarded in this world for that to make sense.
yeah. So here's what I think is going on with all the information they have on him. I think that they want to push him as long as they can
Well,
without
he's the given answer. That's the easy reason why
exactly.
to
I
push
think
him.
they want to keep him as long as they can because right now, as long as the Democratic Party can put legislation in front of the guy, he'll sign it. It doesn't matter.
It's
So I
just
think what
if
they
it
want to
gets
do
there.
is they want to keep that long enough that they can use him and hope they might be hoping to get another 4 years before he is obviously dementia ridden. And I think the reason that they have all this stuff with the Ashley Biden diary, the Hunter Biden stuff, is so that if they need to take him down without admitting they knew he had dementia, they can do it and be like, oh, we had no idea he was this awful, evil person. And that way it's not on them. It's just all this newly uncovered information that, of course, the right is going to say they knew all along. But the people who want to believe.
Then it makes it seem like that computer repair guy turning that laptop over to Rudy Giuliani was like giving his life to jump on the sword of the problem almost.
I don't think that the computer repair shop guy knew anything
I,
that was going on. I don't think that the Hunter Biden laptop was something they planned on. It's the only one they've denied. They haven't really
that
denied all
could
the
be
other stuff.
absolutely true. That could be absolutely true. I'm just saying, like, if we're saying that everything has been known, which
Oh, I
is
don't think
possible.
everything. I think a good amount of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that thing with being the largest thing held from the media and everything else, that would be the thing that would have been the catalyst to the entire situation.
Maybe.
So if you look at it like that, he jumped on the sword for all of us to try and handle the problem, and we all said, "Oh, we're not handling this yet."
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel really bad for the computer repair shop guy because he's definitely suffering right now. Uh,
Especially with him in power. Fuck, he got
yeah,
figgity fucked.
it's I'm very worried about the state of events. I was talking to my dad today. Every single man in my life who is remotely aware of the state of affairs of the world
Yeah.
is currently looking into buying a large freezer and grains and beans and things like
Yeah,
that.
you gotta have all those things.
But for some reason, just in the last few months, all the men in my life have started talking about this.
Yeah, it's once one bites the ass of the other, they all kind of bite each other's ass, and you kind of got to line up that way. But
and I was like, this is kind of a sign of the times that suddenly all of the men I know are like, we should be preparing for something bad to happen. Is that everybody? If nobody's saying it openly, or not nobody, but if not everybody is saying it openly, everyone's at least thinking about it, and it's coming out in their behaviors, and you can see it.
Yeah, I saw a short about that shit this morning actually when I was waking up. It was a guy. He walked up to, I believe, a crypto guy, but I'm not positive. Definitely a dude who made quite a bit of money in the past couple of years. About our age, probably like 25 or so, in that range. He walks up to him and says, "Hey, I know you don't trust banks. We're here in fucking Germany. What would you do to protect yourself for the next 10 years, just in case anything goes wrong?"
Right.
He said, "Well, first off, I have $10,000, I believe, of it was either Thailand or Indonesia. It's the lowest rated inflated currency. So I guess it has a lower inflation rate than everybody else. $10,000 in Switzerland cash, because obviously banking state.
Yeah.
$10,000 in US cash because that is the military power of the world.
Currency.
It's also the reserve currency. It's going to be one of the things that it falls to if we ever have a problem. And then as much gold as you possibly can, as much silver as you can, and a Bitcoin. Because if it's not an EMP, having non-valued currency will be one of the things that's available, just like gold and silver. I was like, that's really fucking logical. If I had $50,000 just to dump into something and let it sit there.
Yep. Yeah, and the thing is, when it comes to, like, if you're thinking about that kind of scenario, it's better to have the actual cash in gold and such than it is to have it like locked up in real estate or the stock market where you can't actually get
Yeah.
to it if something bad happens, which is currently where all of my money is. So I'm working on diversifying. I want to get physical gold bars.
Well, as a whole, we're looking at a housing crisis that's about to drop just to the same levels of 2008.
Oh, hell yeah, we are, and I am ready for it.
I told my aunt she bought a fucking house and got a fucking steal of a deal in PA.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you put that house in New York, it's like a 1.2, $1.3 million house. Got it for like $5. Now,
yeah, that's kind of the area that I live
now,
in. Is it's okay. I've actually been looking up there.
yeah, but I was like, sell it now. Now's the answer.
Yeah,
get rid of it.
Yep.
She's like, yes, now.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I've been looking around and the prices I'm seeing for, and I'm not even kidding, a 650 square foot condo, not in like one of the nicest neighborhoods in Philadelphia, not in New York City, like just 650 square foot condo in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, old steel town, gentrifying, but old steel town.
Yep.
$270,000. One bed, one bath. No balcony.
Something crazy?
Like, it's just insane.
The only houses within 140 miles, so overlapping some of your shit a bit, under 100K. How big or what kind of house do you think it is?
Trailers, mobile homes.
Yep, everything's modular and 2-bedroom or less. If you're looking sub 100K, or from the 70s.
I've been looking to just buy land.
Yeah,
like the way I'm looking at it, I'm like, do I just buy land, and build on it?
There you can find acreage for about $8,000 to $10,000, whether it's cleared or not.
It's there.
It's not as bad as you think it is. New York is
no,
bad,
actually.
Occasionally, it's about the same as you, so
I've been up to the Adirondacks, and we were up at Brant Lake for a video that we were shooting.
The one about
Troy.
that guy.
Yeah. Tom Messick. And we were up there, and we were just like, this is gorgeous.
Yep.
It is beautiful. Unfortunately, it's New York.
I wish that they actually pushed the referendum to split off New York City from New York, because if you look at the map of New York, the only reason that we turn blue at all is New York City, Poughkeepsie, and Albany. That's it.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, Philadelphia is the same way. It's without Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is one of the reddest states in the union.
But that's why gun rights are completely opposite from New York City.
You basically go to, absolutely. You go to, from half of the state being Democrat to about 3/4 Republican if you cut off Philadelphia. It is insane. Because the state's about 3 million people in the city.
If you take out the actual city of New York City, so like the 5 boroughs itself, not Long Island, you equal, I believe it's 65 or 70% Republican at that point. When you add it, it becomes 57 or 58% Democrat.
Yeah,
I think Trump almost carried New York State against Clinton, which is nuts because they're both New Yorkers.
Yeah, only one of them's actually a New Yorker, and it was not Clinton. But
she's seen across the river from me like literally once every 2 or 3 months.
I hate
Bill. They're walking down the side of the fucking highway. I'm thoroughly surprised things haven't happened.
I do think that if you have a state where the population of a single municipality is what is basically, if you can cut off a single municipality and flip a state's political persuasion, that city should be a city-state.
If you cut us off at Poughkeepsie, which is where I've always cut off upstate New York, which is probably about 30, 40 miles out of New York City.
Okay.
Everybody is different here than there. Just completely different.
Yep.
This should be New Amsterdam. That should be New York. Like it was back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, and I've been, I was talking to one of my buddies about this, who he went to school in New York, and we both grew up in the Philly area. We we both kind of see it like with Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. I love the history. I love the culture, the art. Like Philadelphia is a wonderful city if you know where to go. It has its bad parts, but
Yeah.
um, I think that I want Philadelphia to be a part of Pennsylvania. I
What
don't
it
I
should
don't
be
want to
is
have to leave Pennsylvania to go there, but I also don't
if
want them
they're
to have any influence on anything that happens outside of the city because they're idiots.
it should be based off of how many counties you hold, not how many
Mhm.
individual heads you hold.
Yeah.
Because when people are in a group, they share a think. That's all it is. We
Yeah.
all know this already.
Yeah, it's just like
You
I
know how
mean,
we handle that problem? We take them to Sleepy Hollow and create a headless horse.
what do you mean?
I was just saying to cut off their heads, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, definitely.
Just get
It's
rid of their brains, all of a sudden they can't share it. I figured go into a mythological story,
yeah,
you
no,
know.
it's I wonder where we're going to be in 10 years as a country. I'm scared. Will we be a country? Do I want us to be a country?
I think next year dictates a lot of the future of the entire
Yeah.
world.
Yep.
And so many people don't want to put that level of stress to that one specific situation, but it absolutely is. It completely dictates a lot of the problems.
I just wish that a certain dude would stop trying to run for president so that we could get Biden out. But it seems
I
like
think
that's just
either
not
of
going
the
to happen.
Republican candidates,
Either?
either,
Who are
whether
you
it's the one that
considering?
keeps getting indicted or my personal one that I feel would succeed him,
Who?
Vivek,
Okay, yeah. So I'm also he's my top right now as well.
I think that either one of them beat Biden.
Oh,
But
I
if you,
don't think Trump beats Biden. I don't
I
think
think
there's a
he,
universe in which Trump beats Biden. I
I
think
think
Trump
he,
is so offensive to
I,
suburban white women that there is no way he wins.
I think he could win if he pushes Biden to actually run. If he challenges him and makes him speak, he wins. If
How
it becomes a battle of brain, Trump has 2 and Biden has 0. See the
the
difference?
problem the problem is that the rest of the country has none.
I know. Well,
Have
the
you
problem is
how often have you been talking to just your average default liberal about this kind of thing?
a lot.
Because I've been talking to my friends and they genuinely cannot tell you why Trump would be the wrong pick. It's just it's
It's
all sorts of
very.
nebulous stuff, and then you
Have you seen the clips on how people are like, well, what do you think about Andrew Tate? And they're like, well, he's a rapist, he's an abuser.
yeah.
Okay. So why do you think that? I don't know.
Well,
Oh, so
that's my
somebody made you feel that.
mhm,
And
mhm,
once you lock that in and correlate it with your specific opinions. Once you
mhm,
correlate your feelings with your opinions, guess what's locked in until that
mhm.
thing is changed permanently in your
Well,
mind.
so that's the thing with Trump. There are too many people who will never change their mind. Even you could show them how awful Biden is, but because he is not offensive to their sensibilities,
I think the people that are in the middle, the people that he lost on, the people in Pennsylvania, if we're saying that everything was credible, the people
mhm,
in
it wasn't.
Michigan, I don't think it was. I'm just saying if it was. You look at those people, the gray area people, the inner cities and stuff like that, that he
Mhm.
has a chance at changing. A lot of those people are now finally seeing that the racist comments and stuff weren't from him.
I,
I think that changes more than suburban white women because it's more a group thought. You're only winning
maybe,
half of those houses. If you turn the inner cities, you're going to win whole houses.
maybe, but
Especially if he has Vivek as his VP.
possibly, but you could hear me out. Run literally anyone else and win.
I agree. I
Trump
think
is the only candidate who can lose.
I think Vivek walks into the White House.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I think whatchamacallit, Florida guy is at the weakest he has
DeSantis?
been. Yeah, I think
Oh,
DeSantis is the
absolutely.
weakest he has been since COVID started.
he needs to do something absolutely killer at the next debate or win
It's
a pretty
happening right
major
now.
victory. It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch again tomorrow.
me and Brandon Herrera were actually trying to get together a group watch with
Oh, that would
me,
have been
him,
fun.
Ricada, just try and have a couple other streamers and stuff stop in and have some fun. But he's
Yeah.
doing an
Damn,
elk
you
hunt
got the
right now.
connections, man.
No, I don't. I just hang out with a whole bunch of people and talk.
Yeah. Oh,
But that would have been a fucking blast to do.
that would have been. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's having a hell of a lot more fun shooting elk and getting ready for all of his run and all of that
Oh,
shit.
I'm sure. Yeah. I hope he wins.
Oh, me
I
too.
really hope he wins.
It's funny because 3 years ago, I looked at my wife and I told her, I said, I am really tempted to run for NY19.
Mm-hmm.
NY19 was taken by Antonio Delgado. He is now the vice governor of New York State. So that placement would have 100% been mine if I won the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
That's how weird that situation is.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been in government already.
I've thought about running at some point, but probably just for like state office. I don't think I want to be on the national scale. I would love to represent my county.
I'd love to know
But-
what actually happens. And I think that's probably my inquisitiveness talking
Yeah.
instead of just hoping for the better of the world. But I feel like I wouldn't have any impact anyway. We can see that with somebody like Fetterman anyway.
Yeah, I see it as
When you have a
for me, I
plumber
see it
leaving
as
part of Pennsylvania, you're good.
I can't even talk about it.
He looks like Mario, a fat Mario that got punched in the jaw. Talking about punching in the jaw, have you played Mortal Kombat 1 yet?
I have not. I have never been a fighting game person, believe it or not.
So, have you seen the way they do the new stories and stuff like that?
No. So so part of the reason that I've never tried Mortal Kombat out is because the only time I ever played it was the arcade version in arcades. So my Mortal Kombat experience was slap a coin in there and beat somebody up for a few minutes.
So there's that, and you can play competitive shit and shit like that. But there is a story to Mortal Kombat that lore-wise and myth-wise, you would absolutely fall in love with. It is just as in-depth as talking about Wendigos and all of that shit. Like there's devils. All of the shit that you love is in there. Different
so it actually
realms.
has a storyline to it.
Yes.
Beyond the beating people up thing.
And from Mortal Kombat, the relaunch, which is MK9. So they have MK10, MK9, MKX, and then Mortal Kombat 11 in the last trilogy. All of those are essentially you watch a movie and interact with it. You might have to win one fight every 5-10 minutes and sit there and hang out. But it's a movie essentially that you're watching and kind of interacting with.
Got it.
Not necessarily quick time events, but you're watching the movie, you do the fight that happens, and then it moves on with the story.
Gotcha.
So they essentially went through an entire time warp of the world in those 3 games back to back to back. And at the end, the Titan that controlled time said, one of the gods has meddled too much in what I wanted. So essentially becoming too powerful. I'm now resetting the entire universe. We're going back to day 1.
Oh, wow.
So the entire game of MK11 was to defeat her, essentially, to become that Titan, to become that level. And you end up combining Raiden, which was the god of thunder, and Liu Kang into fire god Liu Kang. Liu Kang has to ascend and beat a Titan. After that, now it's now Mortal Kombat 1. They've reset.
Got it.
And now the entire world has been reset in Liu Kang's the first 11 games champion worth of lore and everything else, going through and resetting everybody, putting everybody in the place that he expects them to be, while somebody is doing the same exact thing to him. So now they're parodying it. The good guy sat there and meddled with the world and tried to do it all of the right things, and it fucked up. So he tried to redo it again and fucked up again. Now a bad guy is doing the same thing. and you're trying to figure out who the bad guy is that's fucking with the world, and you got to try and put all of the pieces together with the pieces that you're given from Liu Kang's new world.
Interesting.
So everybody's lore is changed, everybody's story slightly changed and altered.
It's a smart way to reboot something.
Oh, absolutely. Especially because, so everybody knows Scorpion and Sub-Zero and stuff. They were always enemies. Sub-Zero, the original Sub-Zero, was a guy who was a cryomancer, so he's able to use ice and stuff like that, and freeze people. He is taken over by essentially a devil shaman of some kind. I'm trying to figure out the like lore way to explain it instead of just trying to explain it their way. Who essentially warps his mind into, you need to kill this person because this person is bad. Essentially pays him off to kill off this entire group and this entire clan. The guy he kills the entire family of a guy named Hanzo Hasashi, which is Scorpion. You see this at the beginning of the movie and of Mortal Kombat that was released last, like 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And kill his wife, kill his daughter, essentially kill off the entire clan. And Hanzo becomes a death specter named Scorpion, raised by the same chaos mage that told Sub-Zero to go kill him.
I had no idea there was this depth of lore to Mortal Kombat.
This is only 2 characters. Honestly, I'm contemplating doing a full entire like movie series of how it all plays out. But
it might be a fun playthrough for my new streaming channel. I've been working on it. I'm trying to decide if I want to how I'm gonna do things now that I've revamped it. If I want to do straight gaming for every night of the week that I stream, or if I want to do one night where it's an RPG game, one night where it's a battle royale. Like it's hard to figure out what the best mix is.
Yeah, like I'm currently working on starting a Let's Play channel, mainly because I looked at this and I was like, yes. And then I had that Let's Play video idea and I'm like, yes. And I'm like, okay, so how do I make this into a thing? Okay, so stream VODs, much longer episodic things, try and figure out how all of those things work together and what do I need to do from there.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might try doing a playthrough of the whole Starfield campaign in like one night. I could probably pull it off. I think the actual like the main story is only like 5 hours.
Yeah, this game is only 4.5 hours long if you're playing.
Damn.
But it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful games for like a fighting game of watching it.
Yeah. But, I have really, now that I hadn't played a AAA story-based title in a while. Obviously, I played through the Modern Warfare campaigns when they came out. I thought those were awesome. It was really, I loved getting to get back into the Modern Warfare universe again, even with the revamp and everything. I still think that's probably one of my favorite video game stories of all time. But what I was going to say is getting back into titles like Starfield has reminded me just what a good vector for storytelling video games can be.
With the new season that dropped today, and the thing that I posted in the chat, obviously dropping today kind of gives it away. They're putting a whole bunch of like mages like pharaohs and stuff like that in there. I would love to do lore videos with you, Wendy, and me on there. That's an interesting kind of like, it's a combination of lore and storytelling. It might be an interesting content idea. Yeah. Just throwing it out there. But
I'd be willing to look at it. We would have to talk about it. But yeah, I'd be willing to hop into a Discord call sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know
me. I'm usually pretty good about
you're like, that's a good idea, and you're like, yes.
Isaiah can be a little hard to get him on
Isaiah,
schedule.
we just throw the idea at, and he's like, yes. Tell me when I have to be there, and I will begrudgingly say yes, and then I'll be really excited when I get there.
It's getting it scheduled is always difficult. Once he's there, he's great.
Exactly. He messaged him 15 times. He doesn't read any of them except one.
I remember probably almost a year ago now.
Fucking hilarious.
Almost a year ago, I remember having a conversation with him where I was like, what is the best way to get in contact with you if I need to? And he was like, call me. I have so many unread he showed me, and I was like, oh my God. And I remember thinking, how do you even get to that point where you have that many unread messages? And as of right this second, I have 398 unread messages. I used to be the guy who had 0.
I can't have notifications like that on my screen. It would literally drive me nuts.
It does
I have
until it
no
gets to the point where
notifications.
there's absolutely no way you can keep it contained. And that's where I'm at now. There are probably people waiting to hear back from me from 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's why I don't expect everybody to keep contact. I'll reach
Yeah,
out to you and be like, "Hey, bud, we're still good, right? We're
yeah,
good." Exactly. Like
I've
it
gotten
just
to the
is what
point
it is.
where I'll come across a text message that I
Reach
simply
up, poke.
did not respond to for a
You want to have some
while,
fun?
and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I literally just saw this. It's not that there's something wrong with my phone or that I dislike you. I just have way too much going
I'm
on."
just overworked, bud. That's all.
Yeah. I
But
am very much hoping that 10 years from now, when I'm 35, I will have a fifth of the responsibilities I currently have and
twice
5
the
times
fun.
the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
So, like Mortal Kombat wise, let's go back into that. I want to
sure.
finish up those two because
Yeah, go for it.
this is where it sells you. So then the first game starts. That's all before the first, like the original Mortal Kombat 1 happens, or MK9, depending on which generation you're playing.
Yeah.
And then Scorpion kills the original Sub-Zero. They face each other in Mortal Kombat during the tournament. Scorpion kills Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero becomes essentially a specter for Quan Chi, the guy who killed Scorpion, and then he became what I was saying.
Right.
His brother, Sub-Zero's brother, then takes over the mantle of Sub-Zero.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 2 happens. Scorpion sees, oh, there's a Sub-Zero. What the fuck? Guess I'm going back. And he then goes into Mortal Kombat with the new Sub-Zero. He's like, I thought I killed you. He said, who did you kill? That wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. You killed my brother? And from that moment on, Scorpion said, I will defend you because you didn't do anything wrong. So then they go from being enemies, butting heads, to literally protecting each other.
Interesting. That's a very good way of redesigning and reorienting characters without just doing a full, reboot.
Then the new story is completely different. They literally changed those two characters completely. It's so interesting the level that they've gone through and kind of just meticulously pinpointed how to change everything and put everything back together. The brothers of the two Sub-Zeros are now Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they talk constantly about how their father was killed, and then it ends up becoming one of them that killed him. So then they split out of the same clan and face each other. So it's essentially the same story in a different way, but it's so interesting watching them just replay something out with different characters and kind of put back together and deconstructed.
Yeah, I've liked the way that that's kind of been approached lately because I am seeing some stagnation, I think, with video games in terms of like new, really cool news. And it might just be the limitations of technology. We might not see anything really cool and groundbreaking for a while, but
how many times can you, if we go into a war setting game, you can imagine that. You might not be able to imagine the graphics, but you can imagine any single setting where that works. Okay, tell me one where it hasn't happened already yet.
Yeah, true.
Are we going to American Revolution? Because that game's going to get boring really fucking quick.
I think that there are ways you could make that kind of thing fun, but not... I think the big problem that we're seeing right now is a lot of the game studios are trying to make stuff that is both single player and multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it's not working. I also think that the fact that Bethesda refuses to make multiplayer games is crippling the RPG industry. Because think about...
It is so hard because there are so many fucking titles or so many specific game parties that I'm like, yes, that one, I like that one. And I'm like, I don't like 3/4 of those games. Like, I legitimately have a Mortal Kombat tattoo. I legitimately have a Zelda tattoo.
Hmm.
I don't like half of the Zelda games.
Yeah.
Any of those cartoony things, I do not want to play them.
Hmm.
I want to play Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and the 2 new ones. That is it. With Twilight
Yeah.
Princess and Skyward Sword, maybe. That's it.
Hmm.
I have
Yeah.
like 6 games out of there that I can play. Out of the,
Yeah.
20?
It's a lot of games. And yeah, I mean, I'm the same way with Bethesda. I do not like Fallout.
I
That
don't
is
either. I don't like
blasphemy.
the aesthetic of it.
Same.
And
It's
I,
literally, and I know
every,
there's mods, but
no, that does not change everything.
I know.
Like, if it was strictly 50s, I would be
Mhm.
fucking so happy with it.
Yeah.
Why is it retard 50s? Why is it like I dragged my nutsack on the tablet as I was drawing it 50s? Because I
also
don't
like how
genuinely
there's always
understand.
a weird tint to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, Fallout's going to turn everything yellow. Agreed. I understand. I get that.
it's a little much. I think 4 handled it decently.
I liked the way 4 looked. I played 4 for about 4 hours and was like, this isn't for me. My daughter actually my oldest daughter just asked me, she's like, Dad, can you download Fallout for me? Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll download Fallout for you. Go enjoy it, kid. I thoroughly want to see you enjoy it.
I'm not going to tell somebody Fallout's a bad game. I just personally do not enjoy playing it.
I loved watching Wings of Redemption series on it. I
Mhm.
don't like the game. And I don't know. The guns don't make sense logically to me.
No.
The world does not make sense logically to me. Why everything is made out of pipes, but yet for some reason looks so futuristic that it wouldn't be made in real life, I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh,
Somebody said New
I don't
Vegas
know
was
what
the
it
shit.
also
Fight
felt.
me. Never played New Vegas. I tried to buy New Vegas actually for PlayStation 3, and because it was one of the DRM games that you had to have a new copy for, you could not play an old copy that was used.
Yeah. I think the one big thing about Fallout for me when I think about it that really stuck out was how absurdly empty it felt of people.
It doesn't make
There are
sense for how
so
empty it feels
few
too.
people.
Oh, I'm going into a vault. Okay. How many people did I go into the vault with? All of these people. Okay. So why is this town empty? All of the people from this town went into that vault. Okay, they got released years before me, but they would have had descendants. There would be double of them because that's how people
Yep.
grow.
Hmm.
Okay, then why are we still having this problem?
Yeah, and I get it. On the one hand, like when Fallout first came out, the idea was that the whole world had been devastated by nuclear war. But in the original games, from what I understand, it makes sense. The top down isometric kind of thing. But
Mhm.
once you get into the open world RPG thing, I think they were probably limited by the technology of the time. It's hard to create a vibrant world full of NPCs with 20-year-old technology. But you look at Skyrim. I think Skyrim did a decent job, but there's still every single NPC is a named character. By the time you get to Starfield, I don't remember Fallout 4's population mechanics. I feel like everybody was named too, but it might have
Yeah,
not totally been that way.
I think it was like half and half, maybe three
Yeah.
quarters. It was quite a bit of them were
Starfield,
named.
there's a lot of people who are just milling around that you can't talk to. The important part is they're there.
Yeah.
I see other. I'm in a city.
No,
There's a population. I
and
can't
that's what was
interact with
weird
all of them.
about fucking Fallout 4 to me is like you go to Star City. I mean, yeah,
Diamond City.
Diamond City.
Mhm.
And there's a shit ton of people there. It actually feels like something.
Mhm.
But why, when you go out of Diamond City, does it feel like the biggest barren wasteland? Oh, because there's animals out there. I promise you, I live relatively in a similar area. So do you. If you had Fallout happen right now, you logically would see a handful of people at least in small locations, and you would see probably about 50 to 60 in larger locations, even small towns. Like if you have a population of 10,000 around you, you're not going to think 10,000 people died unless the bomb dropped exactly there.
Yep. And that's the thing. You could drop a nuke on Philly, and I'd be fine. And I am
Yeah.
very much within driving distance of Philadelphia. I like
It's actually
that's a
so
quick
much
commute down
smaller than you
76.
know.
Yeah.
It's so much of a smaller outfall than you actually know. There's websites, and we were doing this on PK. I don't remember if we showed it or not, but I dropped the largest bomb ever created by the USSR
Yeah.
on New York City. The fallout barely reaches me,
Yeah.
and I'm 150 miles away.
Yep. That I mean it's crazy because the media always made it into like
Is
I
that a
think a lot
problem?
of it comes from
Absolutely.
Terminator. Yeah, I think it comes from Terminator for me. The
Well, I
scene
think a
where
lot of
like a
that
nuke goes off
fear.
and you see the fire like 20, 30 miles away, this fireball. Realistically, the fireball's not that big. The shockwave's what really kills a lot of people. And then you're outside of 10 miles, you're good. As
Yeah.
long as you're not in the direction the fallout's blowing.
Yeah, as long as you're not affected by the aftershock, you're absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
I also feel like the Fallout games never, or I shouldn't say the Fallout games, I should say Fallout 4, which was the only one I ever, that was my introduction to the series as a real, like, I'm going to sit down and play this game, not I'm at my cousin's place and I'm bored.
Yeah.
Which is how I played Fallout New Vegas. When I played Fallout 4, I jumped into the world and I feel like nothing was very well explained about the war that happened. Like, I didn't know why there had been a nuclear war. I didn't understand the circumstances. I also think that graphically it was kind of lame. It might be that I was playing it on an Xbox One instead of a PC, but I always felt like Fallout 4's graphics were worse than Skyrim's,
I don't know. I've never played
and not
Skyrim.
marginally. Skyrim is
That is
one of
that
the
is
greatest games ever made.
that is. I know. I love Zelda. I have a Zelda tattoo, and you're gonna look at me like I'm a retard. I
Mhm.
don't like dungeons, dragons, castles. I don't like that aesthetic
Really
just as much as Fallout.
interesting. I think what I liked about
Not
Skyrim is
because it
that
doesn't make
the
sense.
world felt alive.
There's just not as much creativity and interactivity with it. It's kind of
Mhm.
held to the level where you know it's going to be.
Yeah. I'll tell you this much. Having played Starfield, I am so excited for Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, that game looks beautiful.
Um,
Absolutely beautiful.
and here's the thing. I will say my least favorite part about Skyrim and about games like that in general is the dungeons. I am currently playing my way through, like, before I hopped on this show, I was playing my way through a Starfield main campaign mission where you are crawling around, basically teleporting between two universes in this one facility.
Yeah.
As you're trying to make your way through it. Really cool concept. It's got kind of a dungeon crawler. You know, you're getting attacked by giant insects. Like theme to it. It's not fun. It's not an enjoyable experience. I'm just frustrated.
No,
And
like,
that's how I always feel about dungeons.
and when
You
I
know,
fought
I
with,
like battles. I like mysteries. I like solving
I loved
puzzles.
that shit with Fallout. I was like, okay, I'm gonna love this.
Mm-hmm.
But the second you break the game in your mind and you figure it out, the game's done. I figured out that running around with nobody following me, so running lone wanderer, being a
Mm-hmm.
retard and having zero fucking intelligence and 10 luck was the easiest way to play the game.
Yep.
I can play it on hardcore and it's easy. Okay, then why am I playing this game?
Yep.
That is not me.
Yeah, for me, I play it for the role playing aspects. It's
Yeah.
fun to step into another world. For me, like it's escapism. I
No,
sit and I play Starfield or Skyrim or Mountain
wi-
Blade or whatever to get somewhere other than here.
the first game that's come out where that's even similar like that I'm like, yeah, you know what, that actually looks really interesting, is Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
Quite a few of the boys were playing D&D in the Discord chat, and I'm like, yeah, I can't get past the dragons and shields and swords and like that doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. I grew up
But
on the medieval stuff, so
oh, I know, and I know you got fucking degrees in that shit and everything else, but like that's the first game where I'm like, okay, I maybe. And Cloudy, I do RP. It depends. The second I go into RP, I don't drop character. You have to give me something that I'm willing enough to do. Where I have to be able to put myself in the place and perceive it as what it is.
yeah. I will say the one problem that I do always run into with RPG style games is I do not have it in me to be a bad person.
I also can't RP.
Like,
I can't RP if I'm playing a game by myself. What fucking point is there for me to sit here without a
Yeah.
camera on, without me recording, and me perceive this game as I am the player?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's really about the escapism aspect, I think. So if that's not your thing, then it's just not something that you're gonna really
yeah, I escape
vibe with.
by enjoying the game itself. I don't.
I like the stories, but
Yeah,
that's the thing is, and that's what I like about video games is there's so many different kinds, and
exactly.
I've been watching. I don't know if you've been seeing any of the console war stuff going on Twitter right now. I stumbled across it, but I have never seen a more pathetic set of grown men than the ones I see on Twitter right now, like lauding themselves over Starfield getting bad reviews on Steam, as if somehow that's a good thing
Positive for
because
them, negative for them. It doesn't
and
fucking
B,
matter.
as if they had anything to do with it. It's like, oh, good for you. Sony is doing better than Microsoft. How does that benefit you? Why are you happy? It's not
Oh,
like a sport where you get to root for a team.
everybody's blowing the hell out of Microsoft, and nobody's talking about it actually.
I
Nintendo
don't
is
even
beating Microsoft. Sony's beating Microsoft. If you look at PC numbers and take those away from Microsoft and put PC in its own category against Xbox, I believe
Xbox is the
PC's
weakest
at
console.
least close to Xbox.
Yeah,
That is nuts.
I think of all the consoles, Xbox is the weakest.
I
Isn't it?
look at this. I look at my house. I have 2 PS5s,
Mm-hmm.
3 Nintendo Switches, a ROG Ally, my PC,
Mm-hmm.
and a PS4.
Yep.
Did I say one Xbox? Nope.
Nope. I wish I had the new Xbox. Honestly, I have a Xbox One and I have an Xbox 360. I want to get an original Xbox. I want to have the whole set. Just because I like Xbox games, I like the way the controller feels in my hand, and it's
I
nostalgic for me.
liked
It's
the
what I grew up on.
360 controller, but the PS5 controller, man,
Mhm.
is
The
so
DualShock,
clean.
is the PS5 one any different than the PS4 and 3 and 2?
So the PS4
Because
one's
I grew up on a
small.
PlayStation 2.
This
Okay,
is
that's a little
about the
bigger.
size of a 360 controller.
This is
It's a
the
bit
this is
smaller
the
than that.
this is the Series X controller.
Yeah, it's a bit smaller than that. I can claw this
Mhm.
with like having extra hand.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah. So but that's the thing is like it is all preference.
yeah,
There's no reason to fight about it, and if you
no.
actually spend time in your day thinking
The
about
only console that anybody should buy for exclusives is Nintendo.
oh yeah.
There is no
I
more
also think
exclusives. None.
I also think it's very funny, especially if you have a PC. If you have a PC, you can play basically anybody's game if you have an emulator.
You can even play
So
Nintendo exclusives.
Mhm.
That's why I have a ROG
I
Ally downstairs for the TV.
the what God, what was I saying?
Play
Lost my train of
anything
thought again.
exclusives.
Oh yeah, it was just one of the criticisms I've been seeing is Xbox has had the smallest market share for a while. Although I don't know if Nintendo has more market share, but they're just kind of their own thing. But Xbox has been losing to Sony for a while. It just has.
Switch through COVID was the console that sold the most.
Okay, so when you look at Xbox versus PlayStation, Xbox
Probably
has been
because of
lagging the whole
availability,
time.
but
Yep.
who knows?
Phil Spencer comes in and he goes, "All right, well, PlayStation is beating us on exclusives right now, so we're going to buy up
everything.
we're going to buy up some stuff and make it exclusive." PlayStation then proceeds to bitch about it as if they haven't been doing exclusive games themselves for a long time and as if they haven't done that in the past. And Phil Spencer also does another thing, which is he looks at it and he goes, "All right, we're losing the console battle itself. Let's buy the publishers. That way we still make money on the games, even if our console is worse." And all of the PlayStation people are like, haha, see, he admits our console's better. It's like, yeah, but he's also getting ahead of you. He's the smarter businessman.
They're going to stop selling Xboxes completely. They're just going to put Xbox
so.
Game Pass on PlayStation and Switch. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to close the fucking market.
Yeah, I think they're getting ready to shift away from physical Xboxes and towards more game service, which Microsoft is a software company. Of course they were going to do software stuff. And I think the idea that everybody's like, they're pointing and laughing at Microsoft. I'm like,
they
no,
might release
Microsoft is winning. Microsoft is winning.
Do I think that's a long-term gain? They almost lost it by not being able to get Activision.
True.
If that
It was a gamble.
Activision sale fails, they
Mhm.
fail as a company in the gaming sphere, not as a whole.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh, I agree. It was a gamble. I have admiration for Phil Spencer as a businessman. I think he's a smart guy.
but
At least his current decision making.
they're treading on monopoly level kind of shit.
Oh yeah, they
IMO.
are. Oh,
They're
definitely.
very, very close. They have to pull themselves out of the
They
console
do.
itself's market. If they don't, they are threatening lawsuit for being broken up.
Yeah.
They just are. They own
Hmm.
PC and Xbox.
Hmm.
That's at least a third of the market, if not more.
Yep. The only big reason I have that I tend to prefer Microsoft products, and if I were to take a side in this kind of thing, the only reason I would take Microsoft side is that it is the American company, and I would prefer that the American company succeed over the non-American ones, even if our quality of product is lower.
I think with the PS5 being an outlier in this situation, the best console has flipped back and forth every single time.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
this generation console, I think it's still the PS5. We'll see
I
when the
do
Switch.
not. I do not think the PlayStation 4 was better than the Xbox One.
It was based off of the ratings of the console itself.
Sure, I just my personal opinion on the consoles. Like, I did not think
I
PlayStation
think the
4 was
controller
the
was
best shit.
better on the PS4. The console cooling and the hardware
Hmm.
itself might have been better on the Xbox, but the PS4 outperformed it in every single way, especially the
Hmm.
Pro.
Yeah, I guess for me, part of the thing is like I'm not thinking about the specs on it. I'm like I played both, and neither felt like
The 360
particularly better to me.
blew the PS3 out of the water.
That I will
The
definitely agree on.
PS2 blew the Xbox
Yep.
original out of the water,
Yeah.
and then you get into flip flopping with Nintendo and what
That's
was worthwhile before that.
that
But
that's kind of where I'm at with it right now though, is like I feel like they're just so similar now because the
yeah,
quality of both is so high. Like
well,
that's the stupid thing is we're sitting here like arguing over which console is
yeah,
better.
we're
We should
arguing
just
over
be happy that
semantics.
we should just be happy that we have two of the like best gaming consoles ever created
As
available to
gamers,
us.
we have
Like
so many more options than 10-year-old Zach did, and
I
10-year-old Zach was so excited when he got a PS2 and 4
mhm.
games.
Yep. It's so funny to me because like I'm thinking about it,
I have a PS2
why
sitting right next
argue?
to me with thousands of them
Mhm.
whenever I want,
Yep.
with however many friends I want to play them.
Yep. Why sit here arguing over which one is better like when you could just have both? If I
Guess
want to
what?
play Uncharted and Until Dawn and all that, cool. If I want to play Halo and the Bethesda games, cool. I can have both. There's no reason to argue over it.
Yeah.
Why are you acting like you're still in middle school? This is not your football team of your local city. Like this is
Yeah.
you can have both.
I wonder how the market would have changed if Switch wasn't off cycle. Switch being off cycle
Yeah.
and releasing 2 years after them really makes it confusing with how long the
Yeah.
Wii lasted, because the Wii actually blows out both the PS3, the end of the 360, the Xbox One, and the
Yeah.
PS4. The
It
Wii and
just
the
has the
Switch
broad
outsell all of them.
they just have the broadest appeal, I think. Anybody can play a Wii.
Yep.
Anybody
And
can
with
enjoy
the
it.
Switch, anybody can walk around and play the Switch.
Hmm.
And you have the hardcore, die-hard fucking Nintendo fans that
Hmm.
will buy every single version of it that they release in a
Which
different
is
color.
weird to me. I still think GameCube was my favorite of the systems, but that might be a nostalgia thing. Because
I loved my N64. I wish I never got
I
rid of it.
I liked N64. I liked GameCube. I liked my Wii. I did not get the Wii U or the
I didn't either.
Switch.
I didn't get the Wii
Uh,
U. I did get a Switch. I've had 3 of them personally, and then I have 2
I
lights for my kids.
do not like the controller.
The Pro controller, just like for the Wii. The
Okay.
Pro controller is super clean. It's literally the same exact
Hmm.
thing that the Wii had. But I played COD on the Wii for the first up
Really?
until Modern Warfare 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have like the GameCube style controller for it?
So there was the GameCube style controller, which I did not have. I had
Mhm.
the Pro controller, which plugged into the nunchuck and was
Mhm.
essentially literally a full on controller, like the Pro controller for the Switch now, that you could just use
I'm
as a
trying to
normal controller.
remember it. I feel like I had the Pro Wii controller. It's just been such a long time. I want to
It
get another
was,
Wii.
I
We
do
had good
too.
games.
I want to get a group of people together to play some Mario Kart,
Hmm.
whether that's Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart Wii or whatever. I want to get
I
a
still
group.
think Double Dash was the best one. Double Dash was my favorite Mario Kart by
Mario
far.
Kart 8, I know you said you haven't played it,
Yeah.
blows every Mario Kart out of the water.
Is that that's the Switch one?
Yep.
I've played it a couple times, but I think it's the controller is getting me. He's
Yeah,
like the because
if
I've
you
always
play
played
with
it in a big group with the tiny little like.
yep. If you
I
put
hate
two of
that.
those bad boys together or play with a Pro
Mhm.
controller, it is so much more comfortable when you're man grown.
That might be worth trying.
Yeah. But
Also,
uh
I can think of somebody else who would probably appreciate the Switch. Huh?
you also could run Yuzu on your PC and, connect online and we could all
What's
just
Yuzu?
an emu
Oh,
game.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I have all the files in Google Drive.
I had one for the OG not the OG, what was it? It was Fire Red. I had Pokemon Fire Red.
Radical
On
Red
a
is so that's actually the let's play that I have that I
mhm,
got all the voice actors for and wrote scripts for and everything else.
gotcha.
Radical Red is a fan made game of Pokemon Red where they
Mhm,
made the game hard as balls.
mhm,
Like as hard as you can imagine a Pokemon game. They
mhm,
cap you at the gym leader's level hard.
mhm,
So you cannot go past it.
mhm,
I played that in a Nuzlocke, which means you can only catch one Pokemon per section. And
mhm.
if a Pokemon dies, you cannot use it again.
Okay.
And every single Pokemon ever released, all the way up until the
Mhm,
new game, is
mhm.
in that one
Wow,
ROM.
that's insane.
Yeah. It is one of the most fun little piece of shit GBA games I've ever played.
Yeah, I had so much fun with it. I
Because
never
it
had
looks
any of the
nostalgia
Pokemon games when I was
wise.
a kid.
Oh,
Yeah, my parents wouldn't let me play it because you know how everybody's parents have like a few weird little things they
demons.
won't let you do. It wasn't even that. I think it was the
Evolution.
violence and the idea of like I think they saw it as like dogfighting. Um, I knew people who weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob, people who weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter. Um, for me, apparently, it was I wasn't allowed to play Pokemon.
I don't, well, I've heard that one a lot because of Evolution. I don't
Hmm.
remember if you were on this episode, but I remember having you, Isaiah, somebody like that on. I guess the Dark Mark for a bit, they compared that
Hmm.
to the swastika. And it was about 6 months after I got a legitimate Dark Mark tattoo on my fucking wrist that glows in
Oh
the
my.
dark.
Uh huh.
So I got a real good kick out of them being like, yeah, that's
Hmm.
Nazism. I'm like, no, if you look at my tattoo, it's literally
Hmm.
parody because
Hmm.
he has the fucking Deathly Hollows on his forehead.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Do you not understand? That's not the same fucking thing, you retard.
People see like a skull or something and they just make assumptions.
Well, because of the Death Eaters being
Hmm.
pure-blooded people, they
Yeah.
combine all of the. I was like, no, no,
Oh,
that's
so
not
they're
how that
basically
works.
assuming the reason you got
Yeah,
it
yeah.
instead of just being like, oh, maybe he's just a fan of Harry Potter and is more into the gothic things. Like,
Oh, not even,
uh,
not even. I just like I was a very, very fucked up kid. So
hmm,
the childhood of Harry Potter and the childhood of
hmm,
Voldemort is
yeah,
very, very similar to mine. Fucked
okay,
up parents,
hmm,
shitty dad. You know what I'm
hmm,
saying? Like when you have
yeah, I
that
got you.
and you could correlate those things, it's like, okay, well, you're either going to be good or bad. There is no gray area in life.
Right,
Everything has its balance. I got a
yeah,
fucking Triforce with only
hmm.
intelligence colored in because I'm strong nor courageous.
That's kind of funny.
I have the Scorpion from fucking
Hmm.
Transformers that I hand drew with
Oh
the
wow,
fucking Kai, not the Kai, the blade from Scorpion from Mortal Kombat from his get
that's
over
cool.
here move. Yeah, it turns
I
into a
gotta
chain.
gotta get more. I've just got the one still, my little phrase,
Yeah.
but. I do
I
have
know you have
to
a heart out.
bring this to an end though. Yeah.
It's been such a blast, man. We
Yeah,
need
I've
not
been
to
having a
do
good
nine
time.
months in between them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Maybe.
happy to be around more. Just reach out, and I'll try and be more available.
Well, I think we'll have a 5 minute conversation after we wrap here, as long as you're
Yeah.
good. But thank you boys for coming and hanging out. We're back. We got 2 or 3 channels here started. I don't fucking know what I'm doing anymore with life. I have all of the art done for one channel at least. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow? Maybe you guys will see all of it. We'll see you fucking tomorrow, and see you fucking later.